Yeah, there's a lot of interesting people. So you notice when it's red, we're online. When it's green, we're not. But most class, we're online. So we're online right now. And notice I'm going to send out to the Remind. If you are on it, you're going to get a message from me in just a second. When you get that message later on, if you want to see this video, you just go back and click on it. So if you're not on Remind, there's a link I can give you to sign up on email because I will send a lot of info on Remind. If you don't have a cell phone yet, your parents are my inspiration because I have a 6-year-old that has kids that have iPhone 7s in his class and it drives me absolutely freaking crazy. So if your parents haven't given you a phone yet, give them a high five from me, probably not from you, but I can show you how to sign up from email because if you're gone, that's how I send out the worksheets, how I send out the homework, it's how I send out virtually everything is through Remind. So that's my way of talking to you. So here we go. Link to class today. And I will put the title in it. So like if you're trying to find boot camp number 1, fractions and 2-step equations, here it goes to you. And then if you want to watch it, there you go. Like I said, if your parents sign up for the Remind, they can actually watch it online too, and I will give them extra credit for you signing, or I will give you extra credit for them signing up. There we go. Oh, you got a text. Turn your volume off, please. Anybody else get it? If you don't get it, you can take your phone off for a second. If you don't get it, that means you're not on my Remind. Where did all these markers go? No, there were a bunch of...
Yeah, into that box. The one directly to your left.
When I'm done teaching today, put them back in there. That's mixing. That's combining like terms. No. It's like I have so much to teach on the first day and so little time to do it. Okay, let's take a look. Today, we are going to cover our first lesson. We call this first unit boot camp because it's reminding you all the stuff you really need to remember from Algebra 1, and hopefully you do remember from Algebra 1, but I'm teaching it in the high school way. Now, I'm a big fan of rigorous definitions. You may say, why are you a big fan of rigorous definitions? Let me ask you a question. What does it mean to be going out with someone? A rigorous definition of going out. Me and this other person are going out if, yeah, see, nobody knows. That's why high school relationships fail all the time because, like, oh, I want to go out with you. Well, what does that mean? I don't know. Well, here's the deal. We are going out, and I heard you, Beckman said, talk to the person sitting next to you in class, and you talk to some other girl besides me, but we're going out, and that's not allowed, so you're getting dumped on Instagram in 3 minutes. Get ready. And you're like, whoa, 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 but my teacher told me, and remember, you were, like, yelling at me because my math grade was only, like, 99.8, and, like, your dad was going to beat me and, like, bury me in your backyard if I didn't get that grade up. What? And that's, like, how high school relationships work. So why so few people date for that long. It's like, being able to like define what the parameters are, like nobody knows. Math, you won't ever run into that because I define everything rigorously. So everybody knows exactly what we're talking about. Everybody knows what's going on and everybody can do it correctly. Why? Because we give really precise definitions. We're going to start out with that at the start of the year. We're going to learn how to do 2 things today. We're first going to do 2-step equations. And then if time allows, I'm going to get to some review of fractions. Now, I'm very aware everything in boot camp should be a review. So don't tell me like, oh, no. Yeah, I know you already learned how to do that. Now I got to make you perfect at it. Why? Because everybody's got to get this right. You can't go on to the next class. You shouldn't even really be in this class if you can't, but I can forgive you for that as long as you know how to do it now. 2-step equations. What are we going to do with them today? We are going to solve them. What does solving mean? Rigorous definition. And just FYI, one of the things I will corrupt in you is if they give like a really abstract definition, you're going to be like, okay, what does that mean? Give me a rigorous definition, like so I know. Like somebody's gonna ask you out and you're gonna be like, okay, what's Sheldon Cooper, you're gonna want to contract. Like what are the expectations? What do I do? What do you do? Can I talk to other girls in math class now? Can I dance with other girls at the color dance? What's the distance that has to be between me and other girls at the color dance? Like minimum 3 feet. Okay, that's gonna be awkward to dance that, but at least now you know. Now you know, so you don't get dumped on Instagram mid-color dance because you're like 1.5 feet from the other people. So solve, what's that mean? To solve an equation means you're going to find the value of the variable. That when substituted makes both sides equal. What's an equation? An equation means what's on the left and what's on the right are exactly identical to each other. Like remember the pep talk yesterday about love? He like talked about the 4 levels. Like if you and your person that's asked you out are on the same level, they're like, okay, which one are you? If they're the same level, oh, we're both on philia. Oh, that's awesome. That's a great way to start out a relationship. But if, the eros and euphilia, then it's not equal. It's not going to work out. So it would make both sides equal. How do we do that? How do we do that? We undo what's happening to the variable. Now, I know you learned this in middle school. You did. I guarantee it. Why am I going through this? Because I need you to have a really rigorous definition. So when I say solve, you either know what it means or you know where that meaning is. We don't use the word like in math a lot because it's not like 7. It either is 7 or it's not 7. It's not like 6.5. It either is or it isn't. Really rigorous definition, so we're all talking at the same level. Who took out like their appendix? Yeah, if you hear that, we're going to take out your appendix today. That's a good time to be like, no, you're not. You're not touching me today. Okay, how do we undo that? Well, we undo what happens to the variable. How do we know what to do first? We look at reversing order of operation. Okay, well, what does that look like? Well, back in the day, we simplified equations. And we actually didn't do it. We simplified expressions. We didn't simplify equations. What is simplify? Well, how do we do that? Well, these, and then we do the exponents, and then we do the multiplication and division, and then we do the addition and the subtraction in that order. And again, so much of algebra relates to high school relationships. Like, first thing that happened, well, he did a math problem on the board, and then I stared at him the entire rest of the period. And then he started talking to me on Instagram, and then he gave me a rigorous definition of going out, and we started going out. How do you undo that? Well, you reverse the order of operation. The opposite of simplifying is to solve. In other words, you figure out the value of the variable that would substitute makes both sides equal. Well, how do you do that? You undo what you did to get into this. How do you get out of the relationship? Well, the first thing you do is you break up with them. And then what do? You defriend them on Snapchat and Instagram. Why? Because you don't want pictures of your exes on there. That's kind of awkward. And then what do? You stop staring at them in math class. And then what do? They go to the board and you're looking the other way. You undo the things in the opposite order that they happened initially. Now, question. I did something that probably most teachers don't do. What did I do that was weird when I wrote this up there? What did I do that was weird? Talk to the person sitting next to you real quick. What did I do that was weird? Like, most people don't do this that way. What did they do? What did they do? What do they do? What do they do? There we go. Working. Good, good, good. Volunteer, what's weird about the way I wrote it? What's weird? Besides, I didn't write out the entire thing. I figured it this way. What did I do that most people don't do? Yeah.
You combine like add and subtract and multiply and divide.
Yeah, why did I do that?
Because you can do them in any order.
Yeah, why? Because they're the same freaking thing. Division is the same thing as multiplication. Dividing by 4, multiplying by 1/4, they're the exact same thing. There's no difference between the two. In fact, if you go overseas, like you do a foreign exchange student, you can go an entire year without ever seeing subtraction or division. Why? Because they are an American invention that we made up to help make middle school math easier. Divided by 4 is the exact same thing as multiplied by 1/4. There's no difference between the two. They do the exact same thing. So they never divide by 4. They always multiply by a fraction. Now, it turns out a lot of people don't like what? Fractions. So what did? We got rid of them. Why? Because we invented this thing called the division. Why did we do that? Some people didn't have to do with fractions. Same thing. Same thing with addition and subtraction. They are the same operation. So what do you do if you got both? What do you do if you got both? You do them left to right. Both multiplication and division, you do them left to right as long as one of them's not in parentheses. Parentheses, you always deal with less. Anything in parentheses is protected. You deal with it less. But if you got the operation, they're the same thing. In fact, subtraction is just adding what? Negative numbers, right? Subtraction is just adding negative numbers. So in most countries, 3 minus 5 is just 3 plus negative 5. Seriously. In fact, somewhere in this room, there's a Vietnamese math book. I had a student in Kai Day who was a foreign exchange student. First day in class, in my calc class, I read division. You've never seen that symbol before. But what are you talking about? It's like, I don't know what that means. Eventually, I got out of it. They don't even use it there. They never teach division. They just teach multiplying by fraction. Okay, so stop and check out other questions on that. So if there's both multiplication and division, you just go left to right. If there's both addition and subtraction, just go left to right. If you like to hack your parents' Facebook, a lot of like people their age like to post math problems that have both multiplication and division in the same problem, so people get it wrong. They're like arguing about the answers because they have no understood at their time. And that's a lot of people just don't get multiplication and division are the same thing. There isn't a difference. It's kind of weird. There's really only one operation, addition. Because multiplication is just repeated what? Addition and exponents are just repeated multiplication. Go into your parents' life tonight. There's only really one operation in math. Adding. That's all there is to the world is adding. Everything is that repeated addition. Okay, so let's take a look at some examples and let's talk about how to reverse our orders so that we get stuff correct. So let's take a look at example number 1 here. Oh, easy or hard one? Let's go for an easy one. 3x is equal to 18. 7 seconds on your marks, get set math. 7 seconds on your marks, get set math. All right, volunteer, what do I do? Volunteer, what do I do? Yes, Aubrey.
You divide 18 by 3.
Yep, and what else by 3? Yes, due to both sides. Get used to saying that. Notice the real thing I'm teaching you today is rigorous definitions, rigorous math, rigorous. So we're all using the same one. If you do it to one side, you got to do it to the other. If you do it to one side, you got to do it to the other. Why? Because if you and your boyfriend equal love. You went to the assembly, you totally got what that guy was talking about. You're like, oh, I agape you. Oh, I agape you. And then, you go on a date that doesn't go so well. He divides both sides by 3. He kind of agapes you, but he really isn't there anymore. If you do, you're not equal anymore. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. You have to keep that equality. That's the most powerful symbol in math. If your love is equal, you got to stay the same. If one goes up and the other doesn't go up, you're not equal anymore. Things are awkward. Yeah. So again, notice I'm training the vocab. And most of you are going to go to Mr. Breebach after this class. And if you think I'm a big fan of vocab, Mr. Breebach, it's like his religion is vocab. Rigorous definitions the whole time. Aubrey, what's 18 divided by 6? Oh, 18 divided by 3, 6. So x is equal to 6. So we think that's our solution. So what are we going to do in Beckman's class? We're going to do one of 2 things. We're either going to put a box around the final answer, or we're going to highlight it. Your choice. Don't care which one, but that indicates to me you're done. How do I know that? Because some of you are going to math like this. Like your answers are circular, and I can't figure out where we started and where we ended. At least now I know where you ended, like what you think the right answer is. And number 2, when I'm grading tests, if I see this, I at least know what your answer is, because then you can't argue like, oh, I really meant 75. 75 over here. Next, okay, yeah, that's your final answer. You only get one of those. Okay, highlight box. Don't care which one of the 2 you do. Highlight's pretty though. Okay, so we're going to make sure we're right though, because let's be honest. I mean, nobody would ever break up if you could just prove you're right, but you can in math. That's what's awesome about math. You can't really fight about it because you're either right or not. You can prove you're right. So what are you going to do? You're going to check your solution. Why? To make sure you're right. What's awesome about that? You replace the variable with what we think it's equal to. Notice every time I substitute something in, I always put it in what? Parentheses. Why? Make things pretty, make things nice, so we know what went away and what's there. And then it should make both sides what? Equal, right. What's 3 times 6? 18. Is 18 equal to 18?
Yes.
Yay, you can even put a smiley face because now you know you're right. And let's be honest with you. If you're fighting with your significant other and you know you're right, you're going to smile. Or if your parents are fighting and one of them knows they're right, they're going to smile. Yeah, because you're smiling because you know that. Okay, and smiley face because we know. Now, is 17 equal to 18? No, that means you're not right and you probably made a mistake somewhere. The best thing you can do to learn math is just figure out where you make mistakes. I make mistakes with fractions all the time. Achilles heel. All right, stop and check out questions on that. Okay, let's do one that is a little more complicated. Let's take a look at example 2 here. Let's go for this. Let's say we got 7x plus 20 is equal to, I don't know, 2x. Okay, now bad news bears, there's what? Yeah, there's 2 variables. What are we going to do now? Yeah, we're going to move one of them to one side. Does it matter if you move the x's to the left or the x's to the right? No, doesn't. You can get the right answer either way. We just typically we don't like to deal with what? Yeah, we like to keep things positive in our life. Positive, all the things that go along with that. So we're going to move all the variables to the left. So how do you get rid of 2 x's? You subtract 2 x's. Same thing in dating. How do you get rid of your 2 x's on Instagram? You subtract 2 x's on Instagram. Okay, what's 7x minus 2x? plus 20. Okay, now stop. That's all I'm writing right now. That's all I'm writing. What did I do wrong? Stop, talk to the person sitting next to you. What did I do wrong? And it's really important. What did I do wrong? It's really important. What did I do wrong? It's really important. Volunteer. Scott, what do you think? Yeah, it has to equal 0. In fact, here's what I'd like you to do. I'm going to put it in a different color because I like it that much. I'd like you to keep the equal sign in a straight line going down the sheet of paper. Keep that equal sign on the straight. Shockingly, I don't know why this works. It does. You keep that, you're going to get more problems right. You keep that equal sign going straight down the sheet of paper, you get more problems right. I don't really know why, if it's an organizational thing or a mental thing, but you'll get more problems right. Okay, now what do I do? Now, I mean, it's equal to 0. The answer has to be 0, right? No, Lauren, what should I do next? Why did you decide to subtract 20 first? Why didn't you divide by 5? Close. Somebody help her out. Okay. Now I'm going to give you the hint for all of the answers today. They involve rigorous definitions. What on that sheet of paper is going to determine what we do next? What on that sheet of paper is going to determine what we do next? Yep.
Both of the sides have to be equal.
Both sides have to be equal.
On the other side, then both sides will be equal.
Okay. Well, the 5x plus 20 can be equal to 0. There's some value for x that can make that equal. What's guiding our thought process? The reverse order of operation, right? Because we have to say, well, what do we do next? Well, we got to get rid of life issues for this. The x has issues. It's got issues. How do we get rid of them? We reverse the order that they happen. So we got to get rid of additions and subtractions first. We got to get rid of multiplication and division next. We got to get rid of the exponents, and then finally we got to get rid of the things that are getting hubs and parentheses. The absolute order. And notice I'm training you with vocab all day today. That's in my head, I have a goal for every day of what I want you to do. Today's all about vocab. If you don't learn any math, but you learn vocab today, I've done my job. So what do we got to get rid of first? We got to look. Is there any addition and subtraction that's happening to this variable that's not inside parentheses? And that's why I know you probably memorized this, but you got to understand why. Where does it bite me in the butt? The other class I teach is calculus. And kids memorize order of operation, but they don't really understand order of operation. And it kicks their butt when they get in an unfamiliar setting when they got to apply it. So really, in my mind, what am I training you all to be? Really good calculus students. Okay, so why do I do that? Because we get rid of subtraction before we get rid of multiplication. Or excuse me, we get rid of addition before we get rid of multiplication. Minus 20, minus 20. Because you know, if you defriend some, like your boyfriend on Instagram, but you haven't broke up with them yet, they're going to get that you're going to break up with them. Then things are going to get awkward. You did it wrong. Your feed blows up. Yeah. Okay, 0 minus 20, somebody help me out with that? Negative 20, right? Is it okay that it's negative? Yeah, some things are negative. That's just how life works. Some things are negative. Some people are negative. That's why we have to give pep talks about kindness. They are. Okay, what do I do next? Divide by 5. Divide by 5. X is equal to negative 4. Now, kind of weird. If I did check it, I'm not going to do it because I'm running low on time. If I did check it, do I have to replace both the x's with that? Yes, because that is the value of the variable x that we think is going to make both sides. We got to replace all the x's with it. All the x's with it. And then once we simplify it out, it should work out to both sides being equal. Notice one of the reasons I put it in parentheses is when you put in a negative number, if you don't put it in parentheses, you might think it's subtraction. If you put it in parentheses, you know it's multiplication. Let's look at a harder one. Let's go for, yes, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Let's take a look at a bugger. Let's go for this. Example 3, 7 times 2x plus 4 is equal to 9x. How hard should we make this? How hard should we make this? Minus, no, plus 14. All right, look at that train wreck. Look at that. That has issues, ladies and gentlemen. That has issues. That has issues. Talk to the person sitting next to you real quick. What should we do first? This has issues. What should we do first? Ideas. Talk to the person next to you real quick. What should we do first? Yeah. should we do first? Ideas. Yeah, Mason, what do you think?
Multiply what's the number?
Yeah, because this looks unfamiliar. So let's get rid of it. I can get rid of the 7 by just doing 1, 2, 8. Yeah, distribute. Let's distribute that, and that should look familiar. That should look familiar. Okay, so we got 14x plus 28. Okay, now this looks just like what? Or doesn't? This to me looks pretty much like the last one. Do we know what to do with it now? Yeah, let's get all the variables on one side, because nobody likes to have 2 x's when you just have 1 x. Nobody likes to have 2 x's when you have 1 x. What should we do? Should we get rid of 9 x's or 14 x's? Does it matter which one? Yeah, let's get rid of the 14. Why not? As long as we do the same thing to both sides, does it matter what we do? Yeah, this is going to blow your mind. You could add 72 to both sides. Does it make it easier? No. Does it help you solve it? No. Does it keep it equal as long as you do it to both sides? Absolutely. You can. Oh, boy, that blew some of your minds. Like, no, I can't. That doesn't help. Yes, you can. You know, screw with your math teacher. Just add a few steps that don't really get you anywhere, and then finish it off. And then write a note about how this problem wasn't hard enough, so you made it harder for me. But this problem's too easy, so I added a few steps. I added 72x to both sides just to make it, yeah. Still get the same answer, too. That's the good news. As long as you keep it equal, good to go. Okay, so what do I got left here? 28. What do I got left here? Negative 5x. What do I got here? 14. Now what do I do? Yeah, minus 14, minus 14. Okay, last step, what do I do? Yep, divide both sides by negative 5. Do we like negatives in the bottom? No. What's a positive number divided by a negative number? Negative, right. You know, you had a really good day, your boyfriend dumped you, that's going to be a negative day. You know, 2 negatives, you don't like your boyfriend, he dumps you. 2 negatives make it positive because now you're the victim because you got dumped even though you're just about to dump him on Instagram. Yeah, 2 negatives make a positive, 1 negative makes a negative. So negative 14 over 5. Is that okay? Can I leave answers as fractions? Yeah, reduce them if you can. Can I convert this to a decimal? Yes, but you have to write all the places of the decimal and keep that equal sign there. If this is 14 divided by 7, and you only wrote a couple decimal spaces, you got to change that to an approximate sign. It's really important to tell a pilot, like, you want to land exactly on the runway or like approximately on the runway. Land, you can land approximately on the runway. There's errors on both sides. New York, like LaGuardia, don't land on the runway, you crash into the Empire State Building, that's going to be a problem. Yep.
I mean, that's why I have
For
machines.
the record, I did run through it. It is a, you don't have to put an approximate sign.
You don't, yeah, because divided by 5, yeah, because you're writing all the decimal points. If you don't write all of them, you got to change it to an approximate. That's a big deal. Ladies and gentlemen, I got fun for you tonight. I got a worksheet. I think we're out of time, sadly. Worksheet's right here. You only have to do the side that says solve for x, but you got to do all of it. You only have to do the side that says solve for x, but you got to do all of it. Well, like I told you to start class, there's one thing I can guarantee you going into Beckman's class. You are not going to have time to do drugs this year. So you might as well tell all your friends that are doing drugs, like, we can't be friends anymore. I'm not going to have time. I'm in Beckman's class. Like, get rid of them. Tell your drug dealer, like, I'm not going to have time this year.
Save yourself a little bit.